Indiethon, folks. You thought I was done? You thought you've seen the last of me? Absolutely not. I'm back and with a vengeance. And not only a vengeance, a very cool run, at least from what I've seen. We're going to be going on to Infernax by Vertz505, which was described to me as better than Castlevania. So, take it away!
That's a bold statement. I would say, so this game is modeled in a lot of ways after Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. If you've played that and struggled through it, this takes the rough pieces of that and improves it. I am happy to kind of answer questions about the game as we go. What we're going to be doing tonight is playing a category called Defeat Belphegor. Belphegor is one of the main end bosses in the game, and it leads to either the basic good or basic evil ending. Based on some things we're going to do in the game, we are unfortunately going to end up with the basic evil ending, and you will see what fate befalls our hero with that. But with that said, we'll be starting time in just a moment. So there are two difficulty options. Also, you will not be able to read any text unless you can read, I believe, the Chinese text here. But there is a classic difficulty and a casual difficulty. This is going to be run on casual. Casual starts you with 1 extra life and provides mid-dungeon checkpoints, which makes life a lot easier for you and provides some interesting glitches, which we'll hopefully be able to pull off today. So we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go. We're immediately going to skip a cutscene. This is Alcidor that you saw on the screen there for a second and who's about to hop off this boat. Alcidor is coming back from the Crusades, shows up at home and is like, sick, I'm home, everything's going to be great. And then as soon as he lands, he sees this nonsense, and this nonsense, and this nonsense. And he's like, oh, that's not cool. Let me hit it with my mace. So instead of a whip, you have a mace. The mace is pretty nice. We're not going to be upgrading it at all in this run. We don't need to in order to finish the game. We will upgrade Alcidor's base power, though. You can upgrade stats in this game with an experience system. We're going to get our first upgrade after this first mini-boss here. This guy basically says, please kill me. And instead of killing him, we say, no, we'll pray for you. And he's like, no, please just destroy me. Because if we don't kill him right away, he turns into this horrible thing right here. Sorry, dude. Alright, so that is the first little mini-boss killed. 15 hits total. He grants you 750 experience, which is exactly enough experience to increase our power up from level 1 to level 2, which we can do at this shrine. We can upgrade health and mana as well, but we're going to upgrade health exactly 1 time, mostly for glitch usage, but also for marathon safety. We're going to be focusing on power primarily. Power gets you a lot of bang for your buck. Okay, dude. These wraiths have some interesting movement patterns. Sometimes they just decide, I'm just going to turn around on you. Alright, so we've made it to the outside of the first village in the game. Oh, it didn't have to be like that, Tancred. Tancred here is kind of the lead soldier, and he likes to swing his spear weapon thing, halberd, I don't know, weapon of some kind. And it's slow if he does that, so unfortunately he decided to waste a little bit of our time. But we're going to go off and hopefully save this village. See there are a lot of flashes in this game. I should have said that at the start, so if you're photosensitive, I apologize. There's a lot of flashing in this game, a lot of screen shake as well. Yeah, if you're looking at this game, you're like, man, this is really, really pretty. Yes, it is very pretty. Definitely modeled after kind of NES era gameplay. All right, cool. So we have saved the town by punching this monster in its stomach a couple of times, and it runs off. All right, so that is the first quest of the game finished. And now this guy, Father Henry, is like, all right, we figured out where the monster went. Follow us. So we're like, all right, cool, we'll follow you. We're going to make a couple of pit stops. So this first pit stop is for marathon safety. We're going to pick up a potion right here. Alright, so potions completely refill your health. Hopefully we don't need it for a really long time. I'm also going to get some money here. We need, much later in the run, we're going to need exactly 200 coins. This gets us 75 right away. We only picked up 1 coin on the way here. Sometimes you get more, sometimes less. In a marathon setting, I'll definitely pick this up. Unfortunately, because we stole that money from the church, that is not a nice thing to do. There's a morality system in this game. You can take quests to either do good things or bad things. Stealing the money from the church is, you might imagine, a bad thing to do, and so we get negative morality from that. So that puts us on track to get the evil ending for the game, at least the base evil ending. There's a good ending, ultimate good, ultimate evil, basic evil, and then several other endings that exist outside of those. What I'm doing here is setting up a glitch, and there's going to be some silly nonsense here for a second. Okay, cool. So we quit to the menu at the same time we activated the shrine menu, which lets us die and then come back. And you'll see, if you look at the bottom right of the screen, you'll kind of see occasionally a wheel start to fill up as I'm pressing buttons. If I hold a button and let that fill all the way, it basically skips the death animation that I interrupted by going back to the menu. So we're going to fight this boss. Then we're going to quit out of the next cutscene using that. Cool. Alright, so he dead. So what's happening here, we chase this monster to this citadel called Urzon Citadel. Father Henry tells us, hey, there's a lot of evil coming out of this place, and you should go do something about that. And he's going to give us a key. Sorry, just setting this up. All right, cool. So we're going to seeing this for a second. You're also going to hear the sounds of me dying for a second. All right, cool. So we got it set up right. All right, cool. All right, so what I've done is basically skip a cutscene there. The game does not know that I killed that mini-boss right now. Because we didn't actually do it on the save file. Because I game overed, the game is like, well, you didn't actually kill that boss, but because we interrupted a dialogue in progress, the dialogue continued when we hit continue. And when we finish the dialogue, we get a key. You need that key to get in this dungeon, so we are able to duplicate the key. We're going to use that to make the second dungeon a little bit faster. It's also just goofy. I just like to do it. I kind of call this the clown key route because it's pretty clowny. There's really no reason to do it this way. It's slower than doing it the normal way, honestly, but it's fun. There are some death warps here. So we picked up that key, running into that big skeleton kills us instantly, so we just death warp to the beginning of the room, which saves some time. Jumping over those big skeletons is kind of tricky, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. Alright, so we needed to get that, of course, we needed to get that key. I'm just going to drink this potion now because I don't want to die. Alright, please note, Alcidor has a shield. It can block physical projectiles, but it cannot block magic projectiles. So if there's like an axe that somebody throws, then I can block that. Or if there's a spear that somebody throws, I can block it. But if it's something like a fireball, then I cannot block it. And so I should not try to do so. Oh. Alright, excuse me, gentlemen. Normally I would death warp out of this room, but because this is a marathon, I'm going to keep my extra life as a just in case. It's a little bit faster to keep the life here versus go back to the shrine, I think. All right, so we picked up the first spell book in the game, the Lightning spell. Lightning's great. It does 200 damage to basic enemies and 100 damage to every boss. So we're going to use at least one instance of it on each boss. Well, I should say only one instance of it on each boss because you only get enough mana to do it one time. It costs 4 mana total. We also need it to enter the third dungeon of the game. If you've played Zelda 2, when we get to Dungeon 3, you'll kind of see something that is maybe a little bit familiar. Oh, okay, sure. That's fine. Didn't mean to just smash my face into that guy, but that's okay. Alright, coming up on the first boss here. Now, he's pretty basic. He has 3 attacks. He can spawn an eyeball, he can shoot some fire, or he can teleport. Teleporting's bad. Eyeball's great. Oh, I thought I killed that guy. That's okay. We had an extra life. That was a really good pattern. He was really nice. I just messed up my timing on that last eyeball that he spawned and just landed on it instead of killing it. So we'll go again. Alright, that's a teleport. Teleports are pretty annoying. My dude. Alright, we're just gonna play it a little bit safe. Alright, yeah, I figured I was counting mostly correctly and probably would have killed him, but I didn't want to take a chance in a marathon. Yeah, so as you can see, he can kind of be very nice with his pattern like he was the first time before I died, or he can be a huge jerk. If he teleports around a lot, it takes a lot of time because you can't hit him during the teleport. Alright, so we did all that to find an orb, just like you would in a Castlevania game, except instead of grabbing the orb, we destroy the orb. We do that so that we can get into Urzon Citadel later in the game. That is the ultimate goal, destroy all the orbs to get into Urzon Citadel. So you might remember, I fought a mini-boss a while ago, did some weird, janky stuff, and got a key. Didn't really make a lot of sense, but we did it. We're gonna fight him again, but we have the lightning spell right now, so it'll be a little bit faster. Sir. Alright, so here he is again. Alright, and we're gonna get the key again. We are not going to be duplicating it again because at that point it takes too long to set it up in comparison to the amount of time you save. Alright. We're going to be mashing through some text here.
You mind if I butt in for a little bit?
Go for it.
Perfect. Let it be known that the Unmetal upgrade to hard mode is going to be cut off soon as the run is coming up fairly quickly. Only a couple runs to go before we hit that. So if you do want to donate, you want to get that hard mode, trust me, I love watching speedrunners suffer. I would know, I look myself in the mirror all the time. So make sure that you're donating for that hard mode while it is still an option. We're about $40 in, we've got about $60 left to go, which I feel like chat can make up with just a couple of donations. How about it, fellas? Let's make it happen.
Easy. Alright, so a nice feature in this game, if you are ever unsure where to go, you can go back to the first village and you can talk to Father Henry and he'll say, hey, you should go to this place. Or like, hey, we've heard reports of evil things in this place. So you go check that place out. The place we're going right now is the Combleton Necropolis, which is a fancy way to say the cemetery area. To get to the cemetery area, you have to do these weird platforms that we're about to do. I'm going to try to one cycle each room here. I might not get this one. Nope, not going to get it. So just bailed on it. I was a little bit slow on my first jump, so that's why I missed it. The second one is pretty tight. We'll see if we get it. Nope. Every time. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. That's one... I've gotten it in one marathon out of 2 recently, so, you know, it's 50-50 shot, basically. If you get it, you get to one cycle the room. If you don't, you don't. Sometimes you get damage boosted to the left, which saves it. Sometimes you get damage boosted to the right, like I did, and then you just die. And you feel bad. That works too? Sure, okay. Alright, so I'm going to upgrade my health here. And we're just going to go straight into the dungeon. I used to do a safety save here, but because of the key that we picked up, I don't. Because there's a key that's over up and to the left in this room. But I like to steal the key by duplicating it. And then we're going to skip this key door by jumping over it. Shoutouts to JKL for finding that kind of by accident. You can just get pushed into the ceiling. We'll pick that money up, sure. Basically, when the platform rises, you get pushed into the ceiling, and then you can jump. But you have to be right on the edge of the platform. If you are not like right on the edge, then you won't get pushed up. You'll instead take damage. Okay, sure, that works. Alright, gonna get an upgrade here. We're gonna kill this guy first. Alright. I think we'll be pretty good on money by the time we need it. Alright, this upgrade is a block breaking upgrade. It's required to finish this dungeon. Also required to get to the third dungeon area. There are glitches that will let you get to the third dungeon without this, but they are a bit time consuming to do, so I'm not going to do that. I will, though, take this spear and touch this dude. And do a death in order to get my mana back so that I can kill everything on this screen and get a bit of extra experience. I want to upgrade my power one more time before we fight the next boss. It just makes it a little bit faster. So we're going to do that. Should be good. Yep. Alright, now this next glitch, I am going to save because it's possible to mess this up and then also die on the boss. So it's bad if you do that. So I'm going to save, we're going to drop down, and then we're going to see some more janky nonsense, basically. I'm going to do this. Oops. Nope. There we go. Alright. Cool, so now I have the shrine menu open, but I can move around. And so the shrine menu has an option in casual difficulty. The mid-dungeon shrines have an option to teleport you to the beginning of the dungeon. We're going to see what happens if we try to use that outside of the dungeon, if all goes well. Alright, nice, we got it. Cool, so there's 1 pixel that you can stand on here. I have missed it often, it's very easy to miss. Alright, nice. It's a little risky the way I do that, but it worked out. Cool, so we now have this shrine menu open, we can still control it. If we have too much experience, we risk accidentally upgrading mana or something like that, but we're fine right now. It's a little bit hard to see that. Alright, so we've destroyed the second orb, and I forgot to split, as usual, so I don't actually know if I'm ahead or not. That's okay. Alright, so we're going to use this, and this would normally teleport you to the beginning of the dungeon, which would be that shrine that I was just at, but because we're not in a dungeon, the way I think it works is that the game tries to figure out which dungeon you're in and teleport you outside of it. If it can't tell what dungeon you're in, it just basically says, I guess you're in dungeon 1, so have fun going outside of dungeon 1. And this is faster to get to where we want to go next, which is right here. Excuse me, guys. Alright, we're definitely good on money. That house up to the left that we just passed, we're going to be seeing that in a bit. we want to eventually go there to get a teleport spell, but we can't reach it until we get the next skill. All right, we're going to save here and not the other option I was about to pick. All right, and we are again going to set up this, if I can get it, janky nonsense here. All right, I'm going to take a death here. This is just to show this off. I think this is actually like slightly slower than doing it the intended way. Okay, come on. There we go. Oh, no, that's fine. Never mind. Sorry, I was like, why isn't the shrine menu open? It's because I didn't set it up that way, and that's fine. I don't want it to be open yet. Cool, so I'm picking this potion up, again, for safety. If I'm doing a PB attempt, I might not pick it up, just kind of depends on if I'm ahead or not. Because it will potentially make things easier in the next dungeon with a damage boost that we need to do. Alright guys, so... Yep, okay, that's fine. There's a bunch of eyeballs here. And our goal is to get one area down below where we currently are, and then die in a very specific spot. Should be right around here. Nice. All right, good. So we the water wheels here can kind of push you through the floor, basically. So what happened there was I died, my body got pushed through the floor by that water wheel. And this is the part where you might, if you're a Zelda 2 fan, you might remember there's a dungeon you have to summon with a spell, perhaps a little bit familiar here. We are going to save outside of this dungeon as well. Come on. Doing that to set up something else. Alright. Cool, so we still have the broken death trigger, and now we have a shrine menu open, which will let us do some more janky stuff in a little bit. Please don't hit me. Okay, good. Thank you. Alright, I'm going to get one key in this dungeon. Also, this dungeon has excellent music. I think this whole game has great music, but this is one of my favorite tracks in the game, which is good because you reset a lot in this dungeon and then you see it a lot. It's pretty tough. Alright, should be good to go. Yes, alright. Normally, what we used to do to get that key was take a death warp. But because we... okay, that was a little bit scary. Because we have the death trigger broken, we can't take a death warp because we want to do something here, which is die, hit the floor, cancel the shrine menu, and then we're just going to do the death slide here. We're going to get dragged under the floor again. We're just going to walk to the right. Now we are under the water, moving to the right. We are below where the death would trigger. And then we fall through that screen. We're going to kill everything on this screen. Refill our health. Make our way over to the left. So that was a lot of janky nonsense. Basically, breaking the death trigger allows you to do a whole lot of very silly things in this game like that. It will also allow me in a moment to get the next item a little bit faster if these guys cooperate. If they don't, then we don't get it. Yep, okay. Come on, guys. Work with me here. Nope. Alright, so this is why I brought the potion. Nope, okay. That's fine. We'll try it this way. Nope. Alright, well, we'll just take the death then. That's okay. Ideally, what would happen there is we would be able to get over this wall here. No, okay, you don't want to cooperate today. That's alright. We might need to do this whole area over. Okay. Yeah, we do. Alright. That's fine, we'll just take the death. Taking the death gets us a little bit of extra experience too, so that is okay. There we go. So I'm just gonna do the same thing, basically. It's kind of unfortunate. Sometimes the eyeballs just don't cooperate. Everybody has a different way of doing it, and it seems like for some folks it works every time, and some folks it does not work. So, just how it goes. Alright, I do need to pick up this key again. I think this time I'll save at the midpoint, just in case. You never know when things go wrong, right? Partly my fault for not saving, but so it goes. You can set up that death trigger break anywhere, so we could, in theory, have saved at that checkpoint and done it from there, but oh well, that's okay. Come on. Thank you for getting out of the way. Okay, that's alright. As long as we don't take another frog hit, we are okay. Come on. Come on. Alright. Alright, so we're going to walk into the skeleton again, cancel the shrine menu again, do the death slide. You can jump out of this. I just think it's funnier if you do this, and it's not any faster to jump out of it, honestly. Alright, should be good to go. Alright. So again, walking under the water. This next screen we used to have a way of kind of using this platform that you very briefly see there to get through that screen a little bit faster, but we don't do it anymore because of that. Alright, well, we'll save here this time. Now, because we failed it the first time, we're guaranteed to get it this time, is what I'm going to say. Usually how it goes. Alright, let's see what happens. No, you guys don't want to cooperate today, do you? Oops, alright. Well, we'll do this, I guess. Okay. Man, oh, that was close. Come on now. Alright, just kill me, please. Come on. This is just not the day for it. Sometimes they just don't cooperate. Again, everybody has a different way of doing this, and, you know, most will work like 90% of the time. See, like, there you go. Those eyeballs spawn in kind of a range. They don't have a set place where they spawn every single time, and so their movement is slightly different every single time. Most setups work fine. Oh, that was a little scary. I don't like this. We'll just do this. Sorry, I got a little scared of that screen. I've died on this screen a lot, unfortunately. Alright, kind of a slow dungeon. It's unfortunate. We're going to have to be a little bit careful in this room, but we'll be okay. Alright, we're a little bit behind on experience as well, so what we're going to do is kill everybody in here. Go back one room. We want to get 3,500 experience. Which we either will have, or we will very shortly get. Pretty sure if we do this one more time, we're fine. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so 3,500 experience gets us to the next power level for our attack, which is what we want. Gonna let that guy do his thing, and then you come down. Nope. Okay. You come down. Alright, we got it. Nice. Oh boy, okay. Come on. So the upgrade we picked up is this Sky Call attack. It lets us shoot up into the air. But what I just set up was another dungeon warp skip. And as long as we don't die on the boss, we can use it. If you die when you have this set up, you can't make use of it, unfortunately. So dying on the boss is basically forfeiting this thing you set up. Alright, this boss is a huge pain in the butt. You can only hit him when you're jumping. It is possible to get 2 hits in a row. Okay. Alright, so he has 3 attacks. He makes a fire with his palm. You can stand close enough to him to dodge that. He does a big laser attack. You can duck it or jump over it like that. And he does those spikes as well. Nice, okay. Pretty good. The last time I fought him, I died. And so I lost the glitch. So pretty nice to not lose it, I'll say that. Also very important that you split on the last note of that song. You can't see it because of the menu, but we hit the next orb, destroyed that. Right, finish that. Alright, and we're going to do this teleport again. And hey, we're back here. It's faster to do this to get to the teleport hut that we need to get to, compared with walking all the way back through the screens that would take us to Castle 3. Okay, so what's going to happen is we're going to get the teleport spell, which kind of negates the need for doing that glitch. And yes, I see someone in chat mentioning, yes, the soundtrack is very, very good for this game. Oh. Hello, sir. Please sell me the spell. Thank you. In my last run, I had to climb out of Castle 3, and it saves about in the range of 30 to 40 seconds to do that, just within the split itself.
Mind if I hop in here just for a little bit?
Go for it.
Of course, if you are not looking at chat right now, our last set of incentives is out. We got the whole 9 yards ready to have some money thrown at them. There's quite a few things to go for. Of course, coming up next is Unmetal, and we want to make sure we get that hard mode. And while you're at that, you can be put in the running for some of our fabulous prizes. Not only did you get to make everyone's life harder, but you might get some cool free stuff out of it. Just by donating $10 puts you in the running for quite a few things here. And if you are looking, if you're looking for something to play, we did just get off of the ukulele runs, both of which, if you donate a minimum of $15, you can potentially nab for yourself. So make sure you guys are donating to those incentives. You definitely want to see those met.
Nice. Alright, so we are climbing up to the next castle, which is the Casta Palace. This climb is pretty tough. Like, casually it's pretty tough, and doing it in a speedrun is not fun. It's pretty hard. You're going to see me do a whole lot of sky calling and hopefully getting it in the right spot. Ow. Alright, dude. Alright, I'm going to pick up a little bit of extra money here. Kill that guy because it's a little safer. So picking up the money to be able to get a life upgrade at the end of the game, hopefully. Oh no, I did that to myself. That's okay, we'll have more health for the next screen. I jumped a little too early. If you jump while you're kind of inside of that spike block as you walk through it, you fall down instead of jumping. Collision, it's fun. There you go, that's when you jump. Jump, cool. Alright, I am gonna save outside this dungeon. This dungeon can be very hard. This dungeon has enemies that teleport around and can decide to appear right under you if they really want to, which is not very nice of them. These guys aren't too bad. This next screen can be pretty bad. Okay, okay, okay. Nope, okay, that's fine. Okay, that's not fine. See, that guy just teleported right in front of me and I had very little reaction time to deal with it. Man, geez, guys. There's not a set position. It's more, I think, relative to where you are and which way you are moving and facing. Guys, come on. My dude. There's also flying ones that shoot ice. Okay, jeez. Alright, that's kind of the worst of it, honestly. The rest of it is not as bad until we get to kind of the middle of the dungeon. Oh my gosh, that one almost got me too. This screen gives a lot of people trouble just because you have to do this weird kind of sky call maneuver. Oh my gosh. Alright, cool. I waited for that guy to shoot his fireball. This one's a little bit scary. Alright, we are good. Almost got wizarded there. Alright, we made it. Somehow, against all odds, we made it. And we'll save. Now, we're not going to upgrade our power again until right before the last boss. Because we're just not going to have enough experience to do it. Excuse me. Whoa, buddy. Okay. That was new. This is all very bad. Okay. That's okay. We can make this work. Oh boy. We cannot make it work that way, though. Alright, though, we can figure this out. That's okay. So ideally, you pick up the upgrade in this room, and then you make your way out of this room without dying. But we're gonna hopefully be okay here. This is gonna be a little bit scary. I'm gonna have to jump immediately coming out of this. So I'm just gonna be mashing jump here. So it's the only thing that I can do. Whew, alright. Please don't die. Oh, okay, good. So relatively safe now. Cool, yeah, we're fine. That was not great, but we made it. So what I did there was take advantage of being pushed into the ceiling, and then my new technique, which is this dash forward attack. Oh, that was almost bad. You can just kind of slide to your doom with this dash attack because you don't have control over your character until the dash is complete and you are on the ground pretty much. So if you lose control, that's bad. This is a scary skip, so we're going to jump here. Nope. I'm going to try it again just for fun. We're a little bit behind my PB, but my estimate is high enough that we can take a chance. That's too low. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna try it one more time with this continue, just to show it off, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, keep it going. I will egg you on first, yes. Don't worry.
Oh, see there, I almost fell in that pit there. Yeah, this trick is one that I had said at one point. Man, the climb to Casta includes some of the scariest jumps in the game, and I think probably the hardest. And then someone sent me this, quoting me as saying, yeah, the Casta climb is the hardest jump. And then there's this instead, which is much worse, and very easy to fail as well. You are required to have the dash to get through this area. The game forces you to get it so you can finish this dungeon. Yeah, that room with all the spikes and the drop and the dash, if you fail that in a PB attempt, you just reset. It's over. Oh. So this guy has a weakness. His weakness is when people stand behind him, he can't hit them. Which is a pretty bad weakness.
Don't be too mean, he's trying his best.
If I jump up right now, his wings will hit me, so I guess he can hit me if I'm standing behind him, but it's not very effective. Are you gonna fly? No? Okay, you're gonna do your fireball again. Cool. That's a good pattern. Alright, that's good. I used the lightning attack there just to guarantee that I would finish it that cycle. You can take a risk and not use lightning. How much damage you can deal depends on how many fireballs he spits out. That's about it. Alright, so Castle 4 is done. We have all of our movement abilities at this point. And we're going to do some fun movement stuff here coming up. Come on. Alright. So first we're going to teleport back to the village. I need 2 coins. Of course. This is purely a safety thing. Alright, there we go. So I wanted 2 coins so I could get an upgrade, which is an extra life. Extra lives are very nice. Dash, please. Thank you. This guy happens to sell 1 extra life for 150 gold. And the other ones are a ridiculous price. Like, I think they're something like 300 and 500 or something. They're very overpriced. So you definitely, oh my gosh, if you're gonna get one, you want to get that one for sure. This priest is here. He's here to tell us some bad news of some kind. We're going to skip it. All right, so normally, if you are charging the dash, you cannot also do the Sky Call attack, which sends you upward. But if you have a controller with a joystick on the right, then you are able to press jump and attack, and then as long as the dash is not charged, oh, I messed it up. As long as the dash is not charged, you can do the Sky Call. So we're going to do this one more time and hopefully get it. There we go. Alright, so normally what you're intended to do there is get a spell that summons a familiar for you. But because we can do the Sky Call while charging the dash, we don't need to get the spell anymore. So that was a big time save. That saved just a ton of time finding that, because you don't have to get money for the spell. The spell costs like 300, something like that. Let's see if I can do this. Nope, not today. That's okay. What I was trying to do there was a skip that sends you through the wall and drops you into the next area. But we didn't get it, which is okay. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna save. Just in case. Alright, welcome to Cadjanto. Cadjanto is everyone's least favorite dungeon. There have been some skips found here that save a tremendous amount of time. One of them involves basically skipping an entire key door, but I'm not very good at it. It's pretty new, so we're not going to do it. That skip is fun. You just kind of dash in the right spot, and you're able to kind of just go straight into the floor and skip having to move to the right to then drop down. So we're going to get one more key here. This is still faster than doing it the vanilla way. We have the key from Dungeon 3, and I'm just going to die actually. We have the key from Dungeon 3, so it's pretty easy for us to have the 2 keys that we need, fortunately. This dungeon is also very, very hard. There's just a lot of tricky platforming, very easy to just die instantly. The glitch that I'm not good at involves in this room dashing into the floor, basically at this point like that, and then saving as you fall so that you kind of get pushed down into the floor, you die, and you can do this because we have the ability to keep our shrine menu active as we come in here. So we can save anywhere once. So if you save as you're falling, you kind of return to life as you are falling to your death, but you're able to still control yourself. So you can do some shenanigans under the floor to skip the door. With all that said, I'm not good at doing so I do not do it.
Pop back in here just for another one last second.
Yes.
Of course, just want to shower a little bit of love on one of our supporters, Team 17. They're an independent indie developer and publisher, and they've kindly provided us with our awesome grand prize. They recently announced their tactical diesel punk looter shooter Marauder. Visit their website at www.team17.com and check out their full roster of indie games if you're interested.
Nice. Alright, so we did one more save there. There's a mini boss here. You can skip this mini boss using a glitch, but again, one that is very new and I just have not gotten it yet. Alright, cool. That mini boss, you can pick up an ability that lets you do that ground pound that he did, but we don't in this category, nor really in any category. It's kind of a forgotten ability, unfortunately. It's a fun one. It's pretty cool. Come on, make it. Alright, just save a little bit of time doing that. Alright, and we're on to everybody's favorite boss, this guy. This guy, you cannot hit through normal means. His body has a lot of health, but you cannot hit it. So you have to hit a tongue that he sticks out like that. So I'm going to heal. It is much safer to stand on the right side when he spits those fireballs, but it is significantly slower. This is what I like to see, is this attack. I prefer if he goes this direction, because he will do 5 fireballs and then be vulnerable. Do it again. Oh, okay. That's fine. Do the thing. Good boy. Not so good boy. He does 10 attacks this direction. I need to be a little bit careful. If I take, I think, one more body hit or a fireball, it's over. Cool. Come on, do the thing. Nope. Yep. If he's anywhere but, like, dead center or on the far left and far right, he will often do those kind of fake attacks. Okay. He can also just close his mouth on a timer, which is not very nice of him. That was a little bit scary. I almost fell off. Cool. Yeah, so I missed the cycle, so we're going to lose a little bit of time on that. Okay. Yep. I have one more hit. Missed that cycle just because I got a little bit scared of getting too close. Alright, cool. So you saw me open the menu there. I had a charged up. If I had released the charge, I probably would have died. So I just decided to open a menu, which allows me to cancel the charge. Alright, nice. And if you thought you had some goofy shenanigans for glitches before, just you wait. There's more. We're going to be going off to fight the final boss. Final boss is named Belphegor. Thus why this is called the Defeat Belphegor category. And we're going to do a very, very silly looking glitch to make this just as silly as possible and make it kind of fun. So what I'm going to do is upgrade my damage just for fun. Make it slightly faster. Going to save. We're going to use our good old friend, the death trigger break. Oh, it helps if you pick the correct option, right? There we go. Alright, fall in the water. Skip that. Do this one more time to get the shrine menu open for us. Then we're going to open the door. Alright, so you might remember when I died and had the shrine menu open in Castle 3, I kind of did a death slide across the entire room, and I mentioned I could jump to get out of that. You can jump to get out of it and bring yourself back to fighting condition. However, you end up in a state where your attack is basically permanent. So you sacrifice a little bit of time here to get this basically like ultimate attack, as some folks have deemed it. I have to be very, very careful with these dashes because if I hold the attack button too long, I'll trigger the death animation again. So I don't want to do that. This is Belphegor. Time will be on the bright red screen when he dies. And you can keep track of his health at the top right. It will go down very steadily once I die and stand up, and then I just continually punch. And this is the last boss fight with this method. It's a little bit silly, but fun at the same time. It is faster to fight him legit. I'll say that. It is much faster to fight him legit, but it is more challenging. So if you want a nice, easy last boss fight for a boss that has claimed many, many runs, this is it. Time. There you go. Lost several minutes on my PB, but so it goes. That's how it happens sometimes. But that is Infernax. Defeat Belphegor. There are a lot of categories. There are a lot of characters that you can play as. There's just a lot to explore in this game, and I recommend it to anyone who is interested in a speedrun. I do have to show off the credits here. So Alcidor is proud that he defeated the enemy. However, because we stole money from the church, we are so evil that we just feel so much guilt, we just have to become a monster. The game also tells you, hey, there's more evil in the distance, this guy, and you can fight other various final bosses. And of course, now the villagers all hate you because you stole money from the church. And that is Alcidor's life now. But yeah, that is the run. Thank you all for having me. This is my second run in this Indiethon. Shout outs to Berserk Studio for developing the game. It's super fun, super cool. Shout outs to the whole speedrun community. There are too many people to thank directly. If you want to check out folks who are consistently running it, I know Chaos Legion streams, I pretty much every day, and is world record holder in a lot of categories, and is just very solid at the game and can explain tech probably better than I can. And plenty of other folks. Dan, the VP, is going to be running this at GDQ as well. So if you want to see a different category, he plays in classic mode, which is much harder. So definitely recommend checking that out as well. But I think that's it for me. Yeah, thank you all for having me again. I appreciate it.
Of course, it is always wonderful to have runs like these. Not only does this game look like an NES game, it certainly breaks open like one too. Really, I thought some of these glitches were really reminiscent of the olden days, and
Yes.
that's going to be another one that ends up on my Steam wishlist. I've
Nice.
just kind of accepted that my wallet's not going to be doing too well after Indiethon. Regardless, we're moving on from Infernax to No Delivery by Bunniestbunrena. I wonder who that could be. So make sure to stay tuned! I'll be sure to meet with you soon.